Hey, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And as promised, from today onwards, we'll start a new playlist related to the Python, and we'll start from very scratch. Okay, very introductive, in a normal way through the introduction. What is Python? How to install? Where to use? Why to use the Python? What are the different fields, areas in the IT sector or whichever sector you are working, how Python can help you to boost your career. And slowly we'll get into the groove of how to write the Python code. Then we'll go to the next level of advanced model of the Python. So let's get started. So my agenda for today is we'll say first we'll understand what is Python, the first question. Second, Uh, why? Why Python? Or where we can use Python? Okay. Then why we will use Python? Fourth, how to install Python. Okay. Then use Python. So these are the five categories I will say. Okay. So the first agenda is what is a Python, right? So what do you mean by Python? So basically, Python is normally it's called a language. Right? What is language? Language is nothing but a medium of communication. So Python is a language, and as you know, language is nothing but is a medium, the medium of communication. How we are communicating now? We are communicating in English. It could be any generic language, or it could be any like the normal language, local language, anything that could be communicated within two different people. That's the language. So here, what the language, what about the instruction we are providing, the computer will understand and give you the output. That's called a language. Simple. Okay. But here the main thing is, and if we talk about language here, we have in the traditional way, we'll start with C, C++, then Java. Sometimes we have the Visual Basic also, then .NET. All these languages were there. Okay, where Python stands here. So basically, my funda here is that Python is a language, but it is a general purpose language. General purpose language. What do you mean by a general purpose language? In the sense, it fits to lots of areas. Okay, so I will cover that, like the second one where you can pass, but it's a general purpose language. It's like a language which will fit, okay, to everywhere. Just like the human being, right? Human being, if you put in a cold or in a glacier area, they can survive. If you put it in a hotter area, they can survive. If you put it in a jungle, they will survive. Anything. So like a generic sum. So Python also, it's the code in a beautiful way that it will survive or it will be fit to most of the areas where currently industry performs. Okay, that's what is called the general purpose language. Make sense? Okay. Now the second purpose is where you can use. So there are two parts to it. Okay. So before jumping into where you can use the Python, so there are two parts to it. First of all, is that we need to learn the basic Python. In a sense, suppose you want to interact with the Python, so we should to know the instruction, how to write a single line code, or how to interact, how to write the code, basic way. So there are two ways to use. So first is basic of Python, which everybody should know whenever you are going for a Python language. You should know the basic Python. Okay, so basic Python list of everything like the structures, loops, everything. So in this basic of Python, there are two two areas are there. One is called your functional programming. Don't worry if you by the terminology if you are not able to understand, we'll thoroughly discuss everything. Don't worry about this. So basic of Python, make it two categories. One is functional programming, which is done to the function. Function is nothing but set of instruction. Second one, the basic Python can be written in a different way also. That is called OOPS way. OOPS. That is called object oriented programming. Okay, object oriented programming. So there are two ways to write your sorry, let me write it. So object oriented programming. So these two we will discuss. So on a basic like a Python developer, these two everybody should know how to write a functional programming with the concept of different objects, and they should know what is a OOPS, how to write the class in object programming as well. Because sometimes we will follow the functional programming way, and sometimes we will follow the object-oriented programming way. Suppose you are working on a real-time application, definitely we'll use the OOPS concept. If it's a normal application like the data warehouse, data science subject, we'll go for the functional approach. So I'm not discussing that approach. Now, this is the first part, basic Python will be done. Now, your area of expertise. Okay, suppose you want to go to data engineering and data science. Let's see. So this is your area where you want to more focus on. So this is the area. Then along with the basic Python, we need to learn few things. It's called libraries. We'll discuss all the libraries. So there are the libraries is nothing but uh, few Python developers across the community. They have developed so many packages, okay, so many libraries, which will consist of different function, methods, everything that we need to use it for our purpose, how for our daily day-to-day works. Okay, so one of the library is called the Pandas, which is most popular, which is used for the data transformation, data loading, all the ETL operation can be done on the Pandas. Okay. Next is called the NumPy, numerical calculation. So these are the two packages which is mostly important, Pandas and the NumPy. And this is the two. And this we will cover up along with this playlist. We will cover this. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, because our main focus on the data science. Then suppose somebody wants to do some data visualization. Okay, suppose they have Power BI. They want to integrate with the Python to build up some Python visualization. So there are different packages available. So one is called Matplotlib. Matplotlib. Then we have a Seaborn, and there is a called Plotly. So Plotly is used for the dynamic way of doing it. And this pandas and NumPy along with this also we can use it. So this part also I will try to cover up, but not in a great detail on the data visualization, but more focus on the pandas and NumPy. And in that only we'll use some like the Seaborn or Matplotlib or sometimes Plotly. We'll see here and there. Okay. Now another one. Let's take somebody wants to go to the web development. They want to build some websites and all the stuffs, right? So they can use Django, Flask, maybe this is the spelling, I think. Correct me if it is wrong. Okay, so Django, Flask, etc. Thousands of things are there. So they can choose the web developer and pass this one, Flask. Okay, so this is the way. And for the data science also, there this is actually data engineering, not data science. Sorry for that. So this is for data engineering, and this is for data science. Data science. Okay, we have some TensorFlow, and PyTorch. Okay, all this come etc. will come into picture. Somebody wants to go to this one. Okay, and suppose another one. Suppose you have the data on your AWS S3. Okay, AWS S3, and you want to interact the data with the AWS rather than Then we will use another utility or the package called the Boto3. This is the Boto3 is a package which will be used to interact with the AWS services. So Boto3 is a Python library which is used with AWS. Okay. Then there are a number of things will be there. There is a web scraping also there. Okay. There are different like the libraries are there, web scraping. So here the agenda is we understand these two parts. So everybody should know. Everybody should know this. I'm just clearly highlighting here. Then they can choose the environment which they're working on. So if you are interested in more the data engineering, you should know the pandas and numpy. That is 100%. Matplotlib, Seaborn library, plotly here and there. If you know, it's good. And your services are on the AWS. You want to contact with the different with the Python code, then you should know the Boto3. Okay. This I will make a separate series for this Boto3. But right now, our main focus will be we will understand the basic Python first. Then we will over the pandas and numpy in detail and few the data visualization technologies. Okay. Now I think the third point we this already with I think we answered it in the sense why we will use function, because if you see the vast area of the implementation area of the Python, right? So we can implement in more than this is just a like overview I have given. You can design the games. Okay, so many things you can do in Python. So that's why the versatility of the Python it makes a general purpose language. That's why I mentioned this one. Okay, so how to install the Python? So I will tell you two different ways. Okay, we can use any other ways also. There are different IDs also there to use it. So the first use used to how to use it is the best way is to go to uh, your Google, search for the Anaconda, okay, and click on the Anaconda. Anaconda, let's say distribution, Anaconda distribution, and click on the Anaconda distribution here or whichever link is coming. And okay, now it is now you know that right the Python got introduced in Excel as well. This is a good sign. Okay. So now we can download. Just click on this download, Windows or Mac version you have, or if you have a Linux version, just click on that, and simply it will download, get downloaded. Okay, no need to install in Python and all. And once you downloaded, if you search for the Anaconda Navigator in your search box, Anaconda Navigator, it will just click on that, and it will finally open up this browser. Here we have n number of tools are there. Out of that, we can use the Jupyter Notebook for our exercise. So Jupyter Notebook is nothing but a web-based IDE where you can write your Python code. As simple as that. It's a very simple way. Other way is that, first of all, we can go here and click on Python download. Okay, and click on the Python org, and you can download the latest version Python 3.0. Very simple installation. Next down. Okay, and once you install the Python, okay, you need in this case we need a IDE. IDE in the sense there are different IDEs are there. One is PyCharm, one is Spider, one is Visual Studio Editor. Anything you can use it as your pro if you have anything. But uh, as per the like the industry, PyCharm is being used and the Visual Studio being used. Okay, these are the two main IDE will be used across the industry. Okay, so I will tell you how to install the PyCharm in this case. So you search for PyCharm here. After that, PyCharm Community Edition download. Okay, it's a free version, and just click on that. JetBrains is a company which is there, and just download it. Okay, only thing is what exactly you need to do here is once you download the exe and we are installing that, when you this is the setup, the exe will be there. Okay, click on the next, and it will whatever the file path it is giving you, it will be definitely just don't change it anything. Next, here I am just mentioning one step that you need to do. Please do it, otherwise your PyCharm will not work as expected. Okay, that is this one. Just add bin folder to the path. Please click it and install it. Other if you don't want, that's fine, but please click on this one, then next, then finish it. this is the tick mark we need to do it while installing, so that your Python will be get added into the environment variables, and while running any report on the PyCharm, we will not get any kind of error over there. Okay, so here uh, in this whole playlist, okay, so we will see how I will write the code in Jupyter Notebook, then how I will write the code in the PyCharm. So I will switch on, switch off, so that you will be get familiar with both the environment. So please do install both the versions, okay, and uh, and just get it ready, okay. So this is the way we will start it, and from the next video I will start opening the PyCharm and even on the Jupyter Notebook to introduce how it looks like and all. Then we'll slowly get it to the Python. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.